Welcome, everybody. We are here. It is the DFS Chalk Talk. This is episode 1. We're going to be talking about some DFS, good plays, bad plays, what we're going to be doing here in about 30 seconds. We'll see you then. All right. Very excited to be back this season. That means it's week 1. That means we're ready to be talking about some daily fantasy right now. Right now, I got with me my two guys that should be driving gold-plated Ferraris as good as they are at this day DFS thing. I got my man on my left, my man Jeff. Jeff, how are we doing today?
Doing well, brother. Great to be back Saturday night, especially with DFS. And as always, get out of that kitchen, rattle those pots and pans. Let's get to it.
Let's get started here. And down below, my man Joe. Joe, how we doing this evening? Oh, Joe just disappears right on cue. My man down below, Joe is.
There he is.
There he
back.
is.
I'm
there
back.
We go.
I'm
now
looking. It just, it was. It felt good putting a lineup together for week 1. Did a little bit of single game for the Thursday night. Did okay there, but putting the lineup together for week 1, lots of options, lots of fresh perspectives, lots of hope out there for a lot of different guys. It's going to be really interesting when that 1 p.m. kickoff hits tomorrow to see how it all plays out. But I do think there's some good cheap plays for week 1. I think there's some expensive guys you're going to want to have. I think it kind of runs a gamut this week.
Yeah, full disclosure, you guys are rocking with a guy right now who thought Noah Gray was going to be awesome and amazing, and he put him in his captaincy in Fanduel. That did not pay off very well. We did not make even the top, 5,000, let alone the money on that one. But you live, you learn, and then you watch Patrick Mahomes fail miserably without Travis Kelce. I think a lot of people are discounting how good Detroit has gotten, but that has never that is neither here nor there. We're here to talk about daily fantasy. So, Jeff, we're going to go ahead and get you started with this. We're going to go ahead and who are the guys that we're paying up for this week? Who are the guys we're looking at paying that extra big bucks for?
So, first of all, I'm going Jamar Chase, and you and I, Mike, we go FanDuel. Joe's got the DraftKings lineup, but Jamar Chase is 8,500 on FanDuel. They are at Cleveland. A lot to prove as far as Cleveland is concerned. I think Jamar Chase is one of the top receivers in the league. What's interesting is why I'm paying up the 8,500 for him is he's right up there with Justin Jefferson, but Justin Jefferson is 9,500 on FanDuel, and he basically steals pretty much everything you can think of as far as salary cap is concerned. Jamar Chase gets a lot of targets. He is the guy for Joe Burrow, and I think he's going to come up big. The other guy I'm paying up for is Bijan Robinson. Now, although we say pay up, he's only 7,800 on FanDuel, but I have a feeling after this first week that he's going to be much more than that going forward. He seems to be almost the entire Atlanta offense going up against Carolina. So it should be a very interesting start to this week. But Jamar Chase, Bijan Robinson, those are the two I'm starting with, and we can kick it off and go from there.
Excellent. And Joe, who do you got as the guys that you're going up for this week?
Yeah, I definitely think, Austin Eckler, when you're looking, I think, at the game that's got the most run points-wise projected for the week, that's the Chargers and I was going to say the Heat, the Chargers and the Dolphins. So I'm liking Eckler right off the bat to start fast. I got Tyreek Hill in. Anytime somebody says, hey, I'd like to hit for 2,000 this year, a couple of weeks before the season starts, feel like he's in a good headspace from a fantasy perspective. So had no problem plopping the money down on Tyreek. And then I will say the other one was on DraftKings. This was a little expensive for week 1, but I did it. I went 7,700 for Justin Fields. Hurts was ahead of him and Mahomes was ahead of him, but price wise, Fields home against the Packers. I just think he's going to run for 100 yards and a touchdown. So whatever else he does, that's fine. It's gravy. He's going to score 20 from running. So we're going to give the Justin Fields kind of a shot again, like we did towards the end of last year.
Excellent, excellent. Not a bad grab, guys. Both, I think, well worth the price that we're paying for them. The guys I'm getting out there is Keenan Allen, just because Keenan Allen is a machine. I think that this Chargers team is gonna have something to prove. I think they're gonna come out hot like a rocket. I think Herbert has probably heard enough of the offseason trash talk, and he's gonna come out and he's gonna show. I mean, the guy still finished as a quarterback 1 last year, and he's getting respected like a quarterback 3. So I mean, I think Keenan Allen's gonna be a big part of those dividends. And then the other guy who I'm paying up for is Travis Etienne. I mean, kind of like Jeff said, we're talking about 7,700 versus Bijan Robinson at 7,800. Jacksonville at Indianapolis, I feel like that's going to be a game where we see people run up and down each other, left and right. I think that's going to be not a very high scoring game per se, but I think it'll be at least a high enough volume game to get both of the running backs in there, as you'll hear when I talk about players we're grabbing for a discount, which I guess we can just segue right into that. And I'll just go ahead and start off with this one. The guys who I'm paying down for, that I'm getting at a bargain right in the basement, man. I got 5,600 for Deion Jackson. To me, this is a no-brainer play. Last time he faced Jacksonville, he got like 10 receptions. And that's in, if you're in a PPR league or half PPR like this, you're looking at 20 plus points just off of that alone. And then he scored a touchdown as well. So he had a really, really big game against Jacksonville last time. But this is going to be very commonplace. So be ready to diversify later on down the road, because you're going to see a lot of people down with Deion Jackson. And my other guy is Tyler Higbee. Cooper Kupp's on the IR. I mean, there's zero chance that he's going to be playing tomorrow. Tomorrow. For some reason, I think it's later today, because I probably won't sleep because it's week 1 of football. I'm probably just going to stay awake watching film from I just can't wait, man. I'm excited. But we got Higbee, and I'm going to be rocking out Higbee. I think Higbee's going to be a big receiver, benefactor in this offense. Stafford back. He's going to be wanting to be hitting people. It's going to be, to me, I think it's going to be Tyler Higbee. Joe, we'll go in reverse order here. Who are we paying down for? Who are you getting on the cheap? I imagine with 3 big money guys, I bet you got a few cheap guys on that list.
Yeah, this one was interesting to me. I'll start, I think, most logical. Van Jefferson, and the same thing kind of along the lines of Tyler Higbee for you. Van Jefferson's 4,700. So as much as I don't love the Rams this year, I mean, the bottom line is it is still Matt Stafford. He's an above average quarterback. They're at this point for at least the first few weeks. They're playing a Seattle team that can put some points on the board, especially now with some extra wide receiver help. So Stafford's going to have to throw. So I'm looking for some trash from Jefferson in the second half at 4,700. Joe, I'll tell you another one where it's a cheap price, but I'm feeling pretty good about this guy. Jawan Johnson, tight end for the Saints, coming in at 3,900 on DraftKings. The guy went for 42 and 7 touchdowns last year. No reason to think he can't do it again this year. He's going to get a lot of red zone opportunity. As Michael Thomas is still kind of onboarding himself back, I like Jawan Johnson there at 3,900. And one other one that I will mention. I got the Redskins defense at 2,800. That's low bargain, but I think we all feel pretty good about that one. Given the matchup against Arizona, and then Tyler Boyd is 4,100. I mean, you got that. That's like playing. I'll play that lottery game 17 weeks out of the year. 4,100 for Boyd. I understand 5-6 weeks he's not going to do much. The other weeks he's going to be way better than 4,100. So once I saw that Burrow was playing. Boyd for 41. Higgins didn't extend his deal. Maybe he's a little annoyed this week. So I like Boyd there too.
I like that a lot, actually. Those are 2 really good picks. And guys that I can really see giving you value back at what you're paying for them. Jeff, who do you got right here? Who are you guys you paid down for that you're getting at a bargain?
So the big discounts for me, number 1 is Jordan Addison. I know he's a rookie, but he's 5,500 for the Vikings at home, -6 versus Tampa Bay. Last season, and we discussed this before, that Justin Jefferson accounted for just below 40% of the passing yards total in 2022, which leaves a little bit over 60%. This guy is talented enough where they're going to get some points against Tampa Bay. You have to think they're going to be looking his way for 5,500. Why wouldn't you just take the 4,000 bargain you're getting away from Justin Jefferson? The second guy I'm looking at is Courtland Sutton for Denver. He's 5,900 on FanDuel at home versus the Raiders. I can't think that Russell Wilson is going to be as abysmal as he was last year, especially with Sean Payton at the helm this year. Cortland Sutton, like again, 5,900. Jerry Jeudy's a little bit more, but he's a little bit banged up. So I can see them going his way. They're going to score. Neither of these teams are too dynamic, but they're going to score some points. Cortland Sutton is definitely a deep ball guy. So I have to think they'll be going his way at least a few times down the field. So those are my two guys. Addison, 5,500 versus Tampa, and Cortland Sutton, 5,900 versus the Raiders.
Real quick before we move on, Mikey, there's one more guy here, and I didn't catch him because he was over 5,000, and I was trying to stay under. But I don't understand, and this is where short-term memory for some of us fantasy-wise. Jamal Williams of the New Orleans Saints on a team where Alvin Kamara is suspended for the first 3 weeks of the season. A guy who last year on the Detroit Lions with no offensive line and a running back in front of him better than him scored 17 touchdowns. Now he starts these first 3 weeks for the Saints because they've got nobody else to run the ball with Kamara hurt. I don't understand why Jamal Williams isn't seen everywhere in lineups and leagues as well as on this DFS play sheet for week 1, because the price is there, 5,100. The touches are going to be there. The red zone touches are going to be there. It's home against Tennessee. Everything lines up for him to have a really nice game to start the season.
That's a good point too. You had me really thinking hard with the Juwan Johnson call, because I feel like I maybe missed out on a few of my drafts because I didn't really kind of recognize that is now Derek Carr's tight end. And Derek Carr is a guy who really values that tight end position. I mean, Darren Waller's been fantasy relevant for years because of Derek Carr. So I think Juwan Johnson is a hell of a play, a hell of a grab. And I think Jamal Williams in the same light is a hell of a grab as well and a hell of a play this week because you're spot on. Especially if you're looking to fade off of Deion Jackson because, a lot of people are going to be playing him. I think Jamal Williams is a perfect sidle to that play. Jeff, so we've got the value, we got all that, but what's the whole lineup you're rocking this week? Let's go ahead and bust out that lineup. Tell us what you're paying. Are you going to probably be faltering with a few things on this? Do we tinker? Let us know.
So full lineup, I always do my regular lineup and they stack lineup. Stack is when you take one particular game and then you take a handful of players from one team and one or two from the other and just go that route, which has been a very popular and very profitable way to go on FanDuel. But my regular lineup, this is what I'm doing. I'm doing Russell Wilson at home versus the Raiders. He's 7,300. Again, I said Sean Payton's at the helm. He can't be worse than he was last year. Running back wise, I'm calling the same game. I'm going Bijan Robinson, like I mentioned, 7,800 at home versus Carolina. And then on the flip side, I'm going Miles Sanders, 6,900. I think that's a value because he's got the rookie behind center. I think he's going to put up some points, and the guy's going to go to him or lean on him. Wide receiver, I mentioned Jamar Chase, 8,500. Jordan Addison, 5,500. They also got George Pickens at a value here at home versus San Francisco. He's 5,800. I know it's a tough defense, but you got to squeeze some guys in somewhere and get some value somewhere. You mentioned Tyler Higbee. I got him at Seattle. He's 5,300. Flex, I'm going Tyreek Hill, paying up a little bit there. Obviously, 8,800 on FanDuel. He's at the Chargers. And then defense-wise, we talked a lot about the Commanders, which I think is a good play, but it's $900 more than Chicago, who's at home versus Green Bay. This is Jordan Love's first big come-out party, and I think it's going to get rained on in Chicago.
I love it. I love it. I love it all. Joe, what do you got going on right there? Man, that's going to be a cash slate. I'm going to be entering that one as well. I'm telling you guys, I did this last year and I've got money on my FanDuel still, like tons of money on my FanDuel still, that just because of these guys. Go ahead, Joe. Let me know.
All right. So for DraftKings, we got Justin Fields, 7,700. I find it hard to believe he doesn't throw 20 up just with his rushing. Eckler, 8,400 in that Miami Charger high-scoring game. Jamal Williams, 5,100 for New Orleans, home against Tennessee with no Kamara. We got Tyreek Hill at 8,200, taking advantage of that game again. We got Van Jefferson at 4,700, the number one receiver under Matt Stafford without Kupp. Tyler Boyd at 4,100, with the most highest paid player in NFL history thrown to him now this Sunday. We've got Juwan Johnson, 3,900, and his 7 touchdowns for last year for the Saints at tight end. I also flexed George Pickens So was happy to hear somebody else here did that. I think that he's just too physically gifted. He's going to make plays, whether it's against a tough team or not, as long as they give him the opportunity. I'm not guaranteed that that's going to happen this week 1 against San Francisco, but I like my chances at 5,000. And then the Commanders defense home against Arizona, $2,800, which is really, really nice on.
I like it. I like it a lot. Those are all good options as well. The guys I'm rocking this week, and I'm pretty excited to be saying that I got Sam Howell at 7,100, I think, against Arizona. You're going to be noticing a theme, I think, with me this year is like that. Let's pick on Arizona. Usually that's my strategy throughout a season, and that's usually how I keep this very profitable is I attack the team and with the players that are in the key positions. So Sam Howell against Arizona, 7,100. We got Bijan Robinson as well for 7,800 against Carolina. Travis Etienne against Indianapolis, because I think this is going to be a burner of a game between the two teams. I'm stacking my Howell with Terry McLaurin at 6,900, backing that up with some Keenan Allen at $8,000. DJ Moore for the Chicago Bears going against Green Bay. I think Jeff might be right. I think that it's going to probably be a bad day for Green Bay. I think DJ Moore is going to be on the receiving end of a lot of those benefits right there. We got Higbee against Seattle. We can't talk any more about that we already said. And then Deion Jackson. And again, man, I really don't mind fading Deion Jackson because on this one I have $400 left. I could easily go move into Jamal Williams because I feel like that might be the lesser percentage play, the less obvious play as well. And then the Commanders, man, I love the Commies against Arizona. I'm not too sure what Jeff's doing tomorrow, but I think he's got to get a good night's sleep because I think he might be the quarterback for Arizona. I'm not too sure. If not, they still maybe have not even found one. So give me the defense against that situation every single time. So with that, guys, we're going to go ahead and call this good. That's the end of the DFS, the first week. Make sure you guys are out there cashing your slates. If you're out there, tag us on Twitter. Let us know. You can find us at all our handles right here. You can find our group over here at Triple Play Fantasy, at Trip Play Fantasy. If you're not following these guys, you are missing out. These guys have the best content. We're going to be here again, man, here in about 12 hours. We're going to be back at 10 o'clock in the morning with the Blitz, ready to answer your start set questions. Get those in there. If you want to get us to us ahead of time, that way we can get you all set up before the show. Hit us up on Twitter. It's Blitz time. It's football time. Guys, do you have anything to add before we get out of here?
Looking forward very much to tomorrow morning to answer everybody's questions. I can't wait, and I'm so glad it's week 1. This is the best time of year, Mikey. Very much looking forward to it. Very excited.
I'll tell you, there should be a lot to talk about tomorrow because when I look at my 4, 5, 6 leagues, I've got a lot of decisions that could be, I try not to overthink week 1. I kind of try to play who I drafted in the role, but there's already a lot of noise. Like, what do you do with DeAndre Swift? What do you do with Jamal Williams? What do you do with a lot of different guys? So I'll be curious to hear some of the questions.
Are we playing T. Higgins? I mean, there are so many gosh damn questions out there right now, and it's not even funny. And I mean, because usually week 1 for the Blitz, usually pretty mellow. But that's why we're going to be here at 10 o'clock in the morning. Usually I don't show up till about 11. I like to say between 10 and 11 is pretty casual week 1. Week 2, we start, somebody's going to blow an ankle tomorrow that's going to change the landscape of fantasy football. And that's where we start getting pretty active. But no, this year, you're right, man. There's a lot of header questions going on in between before week 1. So, guys, make sure you join us here in 12 hours right here, Triple Play Fantasy. We'll be here with the Blitz. We can't wait, guys. We will see you tomorrow. Until then, man, get those DFS lineups in there. Let's cash in together. Let's have some fun, guys, and we will